Transformations have always had interesting implementation in the Xenoverse series, with them being restricted to only ultimate attacks in Xenoverse 1, and then having a new slot and feature made to them called Awoken skills in Xenoverse 2 a year and a half later that greatly deepened the system on how they work, to the entirely new Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, releasing 10 years after the Xenoverse 2, having a new transformation system that will allow any character to transform and choose any form they have already mastered. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Doja here, back some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and goddamn, it still doesn't feel real to say that. I can't believe this game is actually just like real now. It just exists. We only have to wait a bit, but it's gonna come out very soon. Now I wanted to talk about transformations in this game, because transformations in the Xenoverse series have always been implemented, again, extremely weirdly. You guys have literally just heard my intro. In Xenoverse 1 they were ultimate attacks. Why? Because they just simply couldn't think of a new slot to put them in. In Xenoverse 2 they did get the bright idea to go, oh hey, wait a minute, there's a button combination we haven't used yet. And that's how we got the Awoken skill slot. And since we already know Super Saiyan 4 has been confirmed for Xenoverse 3, that's a lot of transformations, and you can only pick one to go in. That's a major problem. Now obviously if that's something Bandai could afford to have two, it is a problem that you can only pick one transformation. So what if they mix things up slightly by allowing you to have more than one, something that they've actually already done in Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 has the Super Saiyan Awoken skill, which already holds 3 transformations in it, with that being Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. And even, yes, Dragon Ball The Breakers, the same game that confirmed Super Saiyan 4, also has 3 transformation slots, but you can pick all 3 of those transformations. Very interesting, since that was the original Xenoverse 3. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below, because Bandai may have done an oopsie by leaking one of their best features in one of their worst games. The question is, how is Xenoverse 3 going to finally buff the transformation system that Xenoverse 1 basically abandoned and Xenoverse 2 tried to develop further on? Well, I don't even think Xenoverse 3 is going to do what the other 2 games did, because there's an infinitely easier blueprint to copy from. It's Budokai, and if it's not Budokai, then it's DBZ Kakarot, and I'm going to get to that really quickly. But first, let's talk about Budokai, because I think Budokai is definitely the easiest way to just evolve on the Xenoverse transformation system. Now, Xenoverse, again, transformation system, is just based on how many bars of ki you actually have. In the Budokai games, if you play the character like Goku, for example, not only would Goku obviously just start off in his base form, and that wouldn't be a separate character that couldn't transform, by the way. That's one of the biggest fears with Xenoverse 2. Goku could start off in his base form, but he could also go Kaioken, and then he could go Super Saiyan 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then still fuse if he wanted to do on top of that. And it was all just one thing one character could do. The same obviously applies to Vegeta, and even characters like Frieza, who have multi-stage transformations as well. I do want to actually mention this really quick, because it's very important to the development of Dragon Ball games, and more reason as to why Bandai is going to lock in so hard with Xenoverse 3. Xenoverse 3 might, I'm not saying it will, it might be the last Dragon Ball game we get from Bandai, because recently Toei did announce Toei Games Studio, and Toei owns Dragon Ball. If they want, they can literally just say, sorry Bandai, but we need our moneymaker back so we can make whatever games we want to make, instead of waiting for you to make them for us. And obviously, Bandai's not going to want to go silently with Dragon Ball, so that might even be why they made this game, Xenoverse 3 specifically. Because obviously they would have talked with Toei about this years and years ago, most likely, and they would be like, oh crap, we need a big Dragon Ball game right now, one that makes loads of money. What's the highest money maker? Xenoverse? Yeah, that one. Okay, let's make another one. Wanted to mention that really quick. I'll make a full video on my thoughts and opinions about the Toei game situation, but it is a really good reason as to why Bandai's going to lock in super hard of this game, because it might actually be the last Dragon Ball game we get from them. Now, obviously, copying the Budokai system 1-to-1 won't be the most ideal thing for Xenoverse 2, because then it would just be a game of, rush to your final form and ignore every other. Xenoverse has always had more strategy than that. You can tell even since Xenoverse 1, because again, Super Vegeta and Super Saiyan are 2 different transformation slots. One is meant for higher ki blast damage, and the other is meant for higher strike damage in general. So obviously, they're not just going to implement a system where one transformation is the best overall. Eventually, over time in the actual Xenoverse 2 game, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved is the strongest transformation, but it's not the best at everything. It has weaknesses, and that's obviously something that Budokai kind of doesn't suffer from. If you go SSJ4, you're just at peak power, and that's it. Xenoverse will obviously have a unique way to implement it. A good example is the Golden Frieza form. Golden Friezas change the way your normal ki blasts work, they change the way your charged ki blasts work, they increase your movement speed, they greatly boost your ki blast damage, but you do take more damage in exchange for all of those crazy buffs. And I think that's fair. Giant Americans is pretty obvious, you become gigantic. Pure form margins also get a bunch of different stat bonuses, as well as unique animations, such as the weird margin dodge skill when they go pure form. Xenoverse has always had more than just go to your final form and then just spam spam attacks and your enemy will just like be defeated. You know, it is deeper than that, ironically, considering what the meta of the game is online. So the ultimate way for the system to be implemented would obviously just be to keep doing what they did with Xenoverse 2, except have the transformations be a bit more broad with their slots. Now that Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God and Blue Evolved all aren't releasing years apart from each other, you can probably just put God Key into one category for transformations. Or just, again, have the ability to customize your transformation slots, only Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 in one slot. Maybe you could just choose to have only Super Saiyan 1, God, and then Blue on a slot. Or maybe you only want God, Blue, and Blue Evolved. Or maybe you only want Super Saiyan 3, 4, and Blue Evolved. Mix and match transformations to create your own ultimate fighter. And that would obviously create the most, unique way of playing the game, because every Saiyan would have a different set of transformations available equipped on them as they're going into battle. And obviously this doesn't just apply to Saiyans, because a transformation that has been held back from Xenoverse 2 intentionally, now that we know that Xenoverse 3 exists, is the Power Awakened and Orange states for Namekians. This obviously wasn't going to get added to Xenoverse 2, because if they did, they would have had to put it both into one slot, because they're revealed at the same time. They couldn't sell those transformations individually, they would have to combine them. And it just makes way more sense to save that for Xenoverse 3, rather than just blow it randomly at the end of Xenoverse 2. And if Xenoverse 3 goes all in on the customization, then we could actually get the option to change the way our forms look when we're orange specifically. Maybe we could change the way our antennas are shaped, or maybe change the shape of your eyes when you're in the form, or maybe how defined your chin is, because that's a thing that, happens when Piccolo goes orange. Additionally, in the previous Dragon Ball games, Dragon Ball Online and Super Dragon Ball Heroes as well, Friezas could actually customize how their other forms looked. Now, I don't think that's too much for Xenoverse 3 to implement, especially because it's coming 6 years after Xenoverse 2, and Xenoverse 2, they've had plenty of time to mess with the customization, because Xenoverse 2 didn't get a single customization upgrade outside of just the close system the whole time after the game came out. We didn't get one new hairstyle, we didn't get one new eye shape, we didn't get one new type of horns for Friezas, ears for Margins, antennas for Namekians, etc, right? Xenoverse didn't get a single one of those the whole time the game was out. I always suggested that they should turn all the wigs that they give us into just actual hairstyles, and that seems like it's probably going to be the actual case based on the fact that we have crazy looking pompadours now in Xenoverse 3. So who knows, maybe we'll finally get all the cool customization that we've always asked for to be just a part of the character rather than into an accessory slot. So it wouldn't hurt to take too much from the other games. Hell, they could even take the Super Namekian forms and Super Earthlings and all the Wizard Margin stuff from the other games too. I do want to remind you that Xenoverse basically did replace all of these series. It replaced Dragon Ball Online. It's literally a one-to-one replacement of Dragon Ball Online. They just stole plot points, moments, characters from that game and just used them for Xenoverse. So it wouldn't be crazy to say to just take them back because they're already yours and just use them again in the newest game. I know I did mention a bunch of potential Awoken skills when I did my custom characters and custom races video on Xenoverse 3. I'm not going to mention them again. I do want to just stick to only the things we actually know, which would be things that were in Xenoverse 1 and 2, which is obviously Saiyans, Margins, Namekians, Friezas, etc. Right? I'm not trying to make this too confusing or too hypothetical for some people. Let's just leave it at this. Xenoverse 3, most likely, we either have one, the Budokai system, where they just keep doing what they do with Xenoverse 2, where the more ki you have, the higher the form you can go into. Or maybe they'll just do what they were doing with Dragon Ball The Breakers, where you can pick any transformations you want, and you can even mix and match their slots. Obviously, some transformations have different benefit than others, so there's no necessarily a strongest form. A great example is in Xenoverse 2, actually, Super Saiyan 3 is way stronger than Ultra Instinct. Like, Ultra Instinct giving you the dodge and stuff like that is cool, but Super Saiyan 3 just makes you such a disgusting tank that, like, why even dodge anything? You can literally just face tank all of the damage. So it wouldn't be too crazy to say that people mix and matching forms wouldn't actually create a broken environment. The only thing that would be broken, obviously, is if there's one individual form that's stronger than the rest. A good example, again, Super Saiyan Blue evolved in Xenoverse 2. But I think that's a pretty good place to end the video, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, then obviously, again, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, as it greatly supports the channel. And leave a comment down below as to what you fellas would like to see next. I do love you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again all next time. Take care and peace.